Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2017 Scots Tour. This is the second to last stop on the North American leg of the tour, which happens on the Sevens years. The set of 5 teams from Scotland come across and done something like 26 different clubs since January 14th. So we were supposed to have the game start at 9 o'clock. Unfortunately, as you can see and you can hear, they're still having breakfast and having their speeches. So I guess we're doing this on mid-Atlantic time. But if you stay tuned, we should be back with you very soon. We will be broadcasting all 4 sheets, by the way. You can change between sheets very easily by moving your cursor to the bottom right of the video feed that you get, and from there you should see a little suitcase-looking thing that has an arrow going left and right. If you click on that, or if you get on top of it, you should see an icon show up. Click on the icon, and all 4 sheets will be available. You can choose and move between them as you wish. So as soon as everything gets set up, we'll be right back with you with some commentary, and then into the games. We hope to have some of our Scottish friends doing some of the color commentary along with us, and helping us understand who plays what and where on the other teams, since we don't, at least I don't know the Scottish teams that well. And feel free to, if you want to know anything or care to pop in a suggestion or an idea or just a comment or hey to your buddies, use the chat feed next to the video, and we'll convey any messages or go from there. Thanks.
formation like you were before in a line. However you do it. Oh, we did 2 by 2 by 2, right? You got to go up. Right? Take that out. Gap, flag, and then do that. And then cover, and then we'll have like make the right, and then you go up, come out. Yeah. You're not far enough.
They starting off beforehand with this? Are they starting off beforehand? Yeah.
We just know how to do it.
I would say so. So what are the times?
We're looking for the week apart.
Gotcha.
1, 2, 3. No, they've got 5 trays, so I might get one.
You're counting them up.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. There's somebody's starting to play.
Yeah. Are they coming onto the ice to play in front?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, they're that way.
We go up and downstairs a lot, that's for sure.
Go pick them up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what looks like the very start of our 2017 Scots tour in the U.S.
You're missing one, Ian.
We're just waiting for our announcers on this side to come and help us, and we can start watching the games as they develop.
All right, ready, boys?
Oh, I got no way over here.
Be photogenic.
What's that? Somebody must have grabbed it, Kathy. I don't see it.
Please lead for you guys. El Presidente.
Right.
Yes.
Good game. There's my pins.
Oh, thank you, sir. And it's I have a pin for you right behind you here. Thank you. We got one more show of this circuit, right?
Yes,
the
so
TCC
that's
tonight.
right. No, it's
With
the last week has just flowed fast.
and then do you get some time to tour tomorrow?
We've just got some time in Boston, so we're going to do a tour tomorrow. And then some free time on our own, just for a wee while. Then we have to be at the airport at 4.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then home. So
Hello, Junior. How do we get you? And
text you.
And don't forget about this. You can swear all you want, just don't talk about your wife or your neighbors.
Hey, it's great to be in this wonderful country.
So if we talk about John, he'll hear us.
Aye, John will hear us.
Yes, I will.
Good talk.
Well, we should really say good morning to everybody back in Scotland. Good morning.
Good morning.
Just saying good morning.
So we're getting well wishes from for the folks back in Scotland as some of the team members have found the mics.
What are you doing, Alan?
And it looks like the first stone's away on sheet 4.
More like a belly dancer.
That's exactly right. Did you know it was a belly dancer though, did you? No.
We have with us today, at least for as much time as he will allow himself to be subject to this, we got Paul Bajero from Philadelphia. From Detroit. Yes. Sorry about that, Paul. Paul and I have curled together for 5 years now.
I believe it's about that, yeah.
Yeah, at the Cape Cod Summer Spiel. He happened to say he was in town for this, and I said, I've got a job for you.
And I volunteered. I haven't learned.
So have you been following the tour around?
Yes, 13 of the 20 of us for the 2012 tour met the Scots at Chicago when they came into O'Hare. And then we played them on the first Sunday they were in town, gave them a warm-up game. And then they started on that Monday playing in Chicago, and then Exmoor, and we had the opening banquet. And then I came home, and then when they flew from Fargo to Chicago to Detroit, I met them at the Detroit airport, and then guided them out to our club. And they curled, and we had our banquet, and then I followed them down to Cleveland the next day. I watched Burns dinner. Now I'm here in Massachusetts. We watched them at Cape Cod yesterday, and now we're here at Broomstones, and then the Country Club this afternoon, and then our closing banquet tonight.
And people say you don't get to see the world with curling.
You get to see lots of places with curling.
Kalamazoo.
Yeah. Yep, there is a club there.
I know. I wouldn't have brought it up otherwise.
Unfortunately, the Scots are down 92 points with 8 games remaining. So.
Yeah, but how many points did they take back yesterday?
Let me see. Cape Cod, they took quite a few points back. The Americans were up 114, and now they're up just 92. So
114.
So they've, the highest lead that the Americans had was 140 some points. So
that's what I was thinking.
The Scots have made quite a comeback in the latter half of the tour, which is what happened back in 2007 also. In that case, they did take the trophy back, but in this case, they would have to take something like 11.5 points every game without the Americans scoring anything to even tie. So I think the trophy will stay on this side of the pond this tour.
Yeah, but they're teaching us that the threat is real.
Yep. Well, the curling is just 50% of the tour.
Sure.
That's why we have the tour, but
but it's a friendship thing.
Friendship.
It's just what curling's all about anyways.
Yep. Getting together, talking with them, learning about them, they're learning about us. They curled in 27 different venues on their tour. Then they'll be heading home tomorrow evening back to Scotland.
There's 27 venues in 21 days?
Just maybe a hair over 21 days. And that's pretty. Their tour might have been a tad shorter. When we were over there in 12, we were there about 3.5 weeks.
That's a fair bit.
It's strenuous. A number of the guys, unfortunately, did fall ill. Nothing serious, the colds and things like that. But most of them have recovered quite well. They're sounding in a good voice. The choir, they sing every night.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and they're sounding much better. They sounded much better yesterday than they did a week ago.
So is the singing part of a Scottish tradition, or
each tour, whether we're over there or they're over here, we'll put on little skits or and sing some songs, and that's just that's kind of expected that the tourists will do that. In case everybody doesn't know, whatever color is on top will be the color of the tourists, and the bottom will always be the Americans. It's just easier to keep track. So in this case,
which is exactly the opposite of what I have up there.
Yeah, the Scots are throwing red rocks. The Americans are throwing yellow rocks. We're in the first end of all 4 games. On sheet 1, yellow is sitting 1 at the moment. On sheet 2, it looks like yellow is sitting 1. On sheet 3, yellow is sitting 2, but I think that's going to change here in a second. That was a nice hit by Scotland on sheet 3. On sheet 4, yellow is sitting 2.
Well, Paul, we're bringing a friend from Scotland over to help take care of their end of the story and what's happening on the ice. David Solito.
Good morning.
Morning, David. So we've got both countries well represented in the commentary booth.
When we were in Chicago, David got to see his daughter and son-in-law who live in Chicago at the present time. So I know he was pretty excited about that.
I was absolutely delighted, and I've not stopped being delighted for the last 3 weeks. The welcome we've had here in the States is phenomenal. I think that's the only word for it. Our curling has been improving, reasonably good. Got off to a bit of a bad start over in the Chicago area, but we're getting together now.
Well, we're just trying to return the hospitality that the Scots gave us in 2012. It's pretty overwhelming, but it's something that if you're a curler, you need to think seriously about applying for the tour. It's a great thing to go on, and it's memories that will last a lifetime.
I think for any of you that don't curl, this is a fairly competitive sport. Everybody out there wants to do well, to win. But more importantly is the camaraderie, post-match discussions, analysis, drinking. Did I say drinking? That happens.
Curlers drink, no.
We all know that curling is just something to do waiting for the beer to get cold. After all, but you have to, in the long run, thank the Scots for something. They've invented 2 games that are worldwide, and both of them were invented with cup holders.
Very true.
And I see we have a dazzling set of strides, as we would call them, in lane 2. I think the Norwegians were responsible for starting that.
Can't tell whether it looks. Can't tell whether it's. Looks to me like red may be sitting 1 there. I'm not sure. One of the members of the Scottish contingent, Gary Rutherford, his dad, David, was on the 2007 tour to the United States. So you can see that there's many an age span. I think Gary's the youngest on the tour.
He's the youngest, and he's probably just about the biggest, and has developed a bit of a reputation over the last 3 weeks for some fairly hard, swift and successful shots.
Well, as I emailed his dad, he threw a takeout in Chicago that I think the rock is still moving. He can throw the big weight when it's needed. Well, somebody threw the wrong color rock, but they're just replacing it over on sheet 1.
This is it's not part of curling rules, but that's certainly a $5 fine.
Fines, for those who don't know, they hold court every morning for various relatively minor transgressions, and it helps to fund the money for libations that are consumed during what they call morning class. A little wake-up drink. Quite tasty. Over on sheet 3, the skip for the American team is Sam Williams, who was actually on the 2001 tour to Scotland. He's a member of the Broomstones club. In fact, Sam's just delivering his rock right now.
Sam's a stable of this club at this point. He's well known for his team in the President's League, which is our ultra competitive league, and also for his chili, which he makes for all the President League games.
Oh, Sam was just a little heavy, put one through the house.
Oh no.
So, I'm not sure whether that was his last rock.
They seem to be checking things on sheet 1. To try and figure out which one's actually shot there is tough.
Yeah, we're just winding down end 1 here on all 4 sheets. We should know in a minute who scored what.
The Scottish skip sending his first stone down looks a wee bit heavy. Oh no, that's it. What do I know? It's just setting up as a guard.
And Sam will try and draw around that. Sheet 1, then the Americans are working the rock hard. Got it across. Very long guard.
Wow. That was almost another fine. By the way, some of you may notice that occasionally the overhead cams seem to have a delay tied to them. We call that a feature, so basically it lets you do I don't know what you call it. You'll get to see the shot just about 5 seconds slower than it actually happened. We've been working with that, but it's really nothing we've been able to figure out so far.
Sam's not very pleased with his final shot there. He's left it a bit short, so there's an opportunity for the Scot skip to pop one in on the side and get a 2 at this first end.
Sheet 2 is very interesting. I count at least 14 rocks in play.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a game of Space Invaders or something on that sheet.
It sure does. Okay, came out narrow on sheet 1, so it looks, I believe they called it one yellow
one
for
red?
the American.
One yellow.
Well, I believe it was one yellow on sheet 1.
You may very well be right. I just saw the broom go down so fast.
Yeah, well, we'll find out here in a second.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty quick about posting their scores. Sheet 3, the Scots scored 2.
I was talking about timing everybody at the same time.
Okay, sheet 1, the Americans scored 1. Sheet 3, the Scots scored 2. We haven't seen scores on sheets. Oh, here comes sheet 4. The Americans scored 1 on sheet 4.
Bear with us while we also have to make a fix to the scoreboards I have up here. Home and visitors is reversed.
Sheet 3, Kenny Spence has just sent down his first stone as lead. Kenny's the strong man of the team, or the whole tour actually. He just picks the rock up and wipes it in his chest, puts it back down, off he goes. Not surprisingly, he's a farmer.
Yeah, he's a beef farmer, so he can handle it. David, I think, did I count, was it 5 farmers on the tour? 4 or 5?
Yeah, might even
6 possibly?
We have 6 farmers.
Wow.
Yeah. And what we're discovering is all the noise about farmers not being able to make a living. These guys are just loaded.
I'm not going to go there.
Well, the Scots brought their own mascot with them, a little bull by the name of Sandy, and early on the tour he did a walkabout, kind of disappeared and went playing, and come to find out, one of the couriers, who shall probably best to remain nameless, had him in somewhere with him. And in Wisconsin, if you go on the website, you'll see pictures of Mr. Brown being arrested by the police.
You've just given his name away.
I couldn't resist. All in good fun. Same thing happened over to us. Toro, our bull, went walkabout. There were pictures of him cavorting out with the sheep in the pastures, so it's all in good fun.
It's tight scoring after the first end. I guess people are just trying to suss each other out. Who can do what shots? Have they got any weaknesses?
This morning when the bus pulled up to the front door of Broomstones, Scots were met by musket fire. I think they must have thought the Revolutionary War was being fought all over again. It was very interesting it was a very interesting welcome.
I think the whole thing was designed to intimidate us.
If you're intimidated by those rifles, you gotta.
I think it'll take a lot more to intimidate you guys.
We kind of went off and on the air a few times there. We ran into some minor bandwidth issues that tend to plague us especially when you have a lot of folks with phones that have Wi-Fi on them. it eats up a lot of the bandwidth going out. So.
And sheet 1 on the second end right now. The Americans are line 2. Not completely guarded. Sheet 2, the Scots are drawing in very nicely here. Oh, beautiful shot. Lighting the button. Sheet 3, the Americans are lying 2, but I think that's going to change here in just a second. And sheet 4, the Scots are lying 2. Oh, excuse me, make that 1. Make that 1.
Sheet 2 looks like a really good yellow rock here.
Sheet 1 continues to be 2 yellow for the Americans so far. Sheet 2, Scots are trying to draw in somewhere close to the button here, and got some backing to use. They're working it hard. I'm not sure they're going to make it. Working it hard. No, came up just a wee bit short.
Next stone in sheet 1 will be coming from Clive Thompson, currently president of the Royal Caledonian Curling Club in Scotland and tour leader. He's got a hard job here.
There is a nice triple there, though.
Interesting.
Actually, no, there is. Well, it's a double raised triple.
I think he's certainly going to want to clear the front. It's a wee bit wide, just a minute.
Yeah, I think we might just skinny the front guard, but that left it wide.
He's done what we call a silent takeout.
I like that.
We call that
takeout.
parking.
Never heard that one before, David.
the curling equivalent of a swoosh. Nothing but net.
I think that would be fair.
Sheet 3, Callum Harvey is going to try and, I think, knock the red up onto the yellow lying stone. But it's a bit wide. No, it's not.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Straight run back.
Have a yellow still lying one on sheet 3.
Sheet 2, they're trying to figure out how they can get in. I think the old term was what? Chap and roll. If they can catch the inside of it, they might get the roll to the inside, but it's a tough shot. Kenny Spence is out there taking pictures, waiting for the Americans to deliver.
Just a little note to our viewers, you can actually see all 4 sheets at your discretion. If you run your cursor or run the arrow over the base of the video feed, you should see a little box pop up, or a little bar down the bottom, and there'll be a box with an arrow going in both directions, left and right. If you put your cursor over that, you'll see, and you click on it, you'll see a little window open up for you to select your sheet, so you can select sheet 1 through 4. And so we're going to be discussing every sheet at different times. So feel free to change to whatever sheet you want, see the folks that you know or the folks that you just feel are a good game.
Sheet 1, Clive is delivering the last rock of the end for the Scots. It's a doable shot, but it's a tough shot. He has to bite the button to score 1. On sheet 2, the Americans are delivering their last rock to take a second point. Right now they're sitting 1. Sheet 4 looks like they're delivering their last rock. There's the Americans. Well, he ran it back, but he rolled out. So okay, sorry, there is one more rock. The Scots have one more rock. It'll be an open draw. They need to bite the 4-foot.
Oh, great shot.
Oh, very nice. Hit and flop to take 2 on sheet 2. Beautiful shot. It looks like the Americans took 2 on sheet 2. On sheet 3, Callum was drawing. Took it to the pot, but
partially protected by the guard on sheet 3, but there's, I'm sure, still a shot just to get run and nick it. It's all he has to do.
If Sand just come down with the right weight, he should be able to move it out a little bit. Looks like on sheet 4 that the Americans took 1.
this is where the advantage of knowing the ice comes into play. Sam's playing his last stone here in sheet 3. He's just got to get round that guard. Ideally stay, which would give him a 3.
Because as much as knowing the ice is great, one thing that happens here is that they redid the ice completely just in the last week to accommodate you folks coming in. So how much we know it now is questionable.
Is he wide?
Yes, going right.
Oh, just ticked it, but not enough.
Wow.
So sheet 3, Scots take another one. Sam's being a very good host.
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't get too close to the mic.
Looks as though the USA are beginning to get their teams together after 2 ends. By my counting, their USA's 5 up.
On sheet 1, the Americans took 3, stole 3. On sheet 2, the Americans are tied with the Scots, 2 up. On sheet 3, the Scots stole another one, so they're up 3 zip. And on sheet 4, the Americans are up 2 zip. Still early in the match, so lots of things can change.
Kenny Spence in 3 put his stone right where he was asked to put it. Unfortunately, I can't remember her name, but Kenny's daughter, one of his daughters, was the World Junior Champ a number of years ago.
So we taught Kenny everything he knows, eh? I know it's been a long 3 weeks for the Scots, but I think if you talk to almost every one of them, they would say they wish it was starting all over again. It's time goes by so fast when you're on the tour. You wonder where it went, but again, it's something that any curler, if they're at all serious about curling, should apply for the tour. Our men's tour will be going over in 5 years, and it's not too early to start thinking about putting your resume together. They look not just at curling and ability. Curling ability is maybe 50% of it. They also look at what have you done for the sport of curling, be it at the national level, at your club level, recommendations from maybe somebody who's been on the tour. But again, it's something that, as they always talk about the bucket list. It's on your bucket list. Start thinking about it right now. And if you don't get chosen the first time, don't give up. I know I didn't get chosen the first time, and I stuck with it. And 10 years later, I was chosen. So it's, and the average age of the curlers are anywhere from, I would say, the youngest curlers are normally 40. And the oldest, I believe the oldest one in our curler, when he went, I think it was 72. So, David could correct me if I'm mistaken, but I believe there's at least one or two gentlemen are in their low 70s.
Well, that's right. We've got an age span of over 30 years. And just as in the States, it's a bit of a pat on the back or a bit of a thank you to be allowed to come. So most of the people out there will have been involved in their clubs, some involved in coaching and training youngsters, others serving in national committees for the advancement of the game, and others, well, we just don't know why they're here.
The selection committee saw something that they felt that they could offer the tour.
Well, I think the odd phone call takes place. Not saying you're vetted, but discussions happen.
I'm not sure whether you do it over there, David. Our selection committee is 5 people from the previous tour. And they look at, they get all the applications and then start looking them over. I know we had 71 people apply for 20 spots. 2012. So our women's tour that just got back from Scotland in November 2016, I think they had over 60 people apply for 20 spots. So there is both a men's tour and a women's tour. This occurs, the Americans go over once every 10 years and the Scots come over once every 10 years. So every 5 years there's a tour. The next Scots tour will be the women coming over in 2021. So if your clubs are at all interested in having them come to your club, you need to contact, I guess for the women it would also be the Royal Caledonia Curling Club, wouldn't it, David?
Yes.
And indicate, that you're interested in having them there. It's not just the curling. You'd be expected to, put on a banquet. It doesn't have to be anything overly fancy. But they always appreciate a good meal. They would, depending on the size of your club, they would play at least a minimum of 1 draw there, sometimes 2. As I mentioned, the Scots, when they were here, this tour played at 27 different venues throughout the 3 weeks. They were as far west as Fargo, North Dakota, and as far east as what we are today.
Once again, the ends are getting quite busy, so it's far from being a takeout game.
Since total points count, it's not win-loss per se. It's points. At the end of the day, we look at the total points for all the games that have been played since they've been here. So, yes, a win is important, but it's more important that you score points. Like maybe in a normal game, if you're up, you would throw a rock through. You're not going to do that when you're playing for points like this.
Nope.
If you can only score 1 point, you'll take it. So you really need to have a little different mindset than you would in a normal curling game where it's, win-loss. Sheet 2, the Americans are working hard, and no,
just got away from them.
Yeah.
However, the Redstone's fairly naked.
Over on sheet 3, Callan was asking, I'm pretty sure, for a guard on that Scottish rock that's sitting on the button. If they can get it to the center line, looks like about 3.5 feet of curl there, close to 4. Seems to be some real nice curl here with Broomstones. Here it comes, going to come back to the center line. Allen threw a beautiful rock. Very nice rock.
Alan Rowe, I discovered yesterday, has played in the Cape Cod Summerfest, came over with his brother-in-law Tommy Campbell, who is known to more curlers than, other than those who are world ranking, I think, known for his jokes, stories. And if you're out there, Tommy, hello.
Okay, well, the Americans just cleared that guard, C3, but I'm sure they'll put it back. On the tour, there have been 2 couriers. Both couriers were on the 2012 American Tour. We had Russ Brown starting in Chicago through St. Paul, and then Bob Chandler from Broomstones picked up and has been the courier since. They kind of help the guys with anything that they need help with. It could be like, when someone was sick, they went to the urgent care center. It could be things like Kenny Spence losing his pants. I'm not sure where he lost a pair of pants, but they discovered that, so they got him his pants back. Various little things. They shipped back a number of gifts already that the Scots have gotten from the various clubs. So the couriers are a very important part of the tour, and really bond with the Scots because they're traveling with them every day on the bus. Oh, very nice run back over on sheet 3, and then flopped, and the rock is now hidden.
I think the couriers are absolutely vital to us. It's a bit like a right arm. We could not do half of what we've done without their help. The logistics of it must be mind-blowing. Absolutely nothing has gone wrong from our perspective the whole 3 weeks.
I know when we were over in 12, I'm sitting in the banquet one night and I'm eating, and all of a sudden I lost a crown. Well, they found a dentist for me the next day. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, they're there to help you in any way, shape, or form.
Working very hard in sheet 2. They really want another stone in there. There's a lot of yellows.
Right now on sheet 3, it looks to me like the Americans are sitting 3. Sam Williams is going to be throwing his first stone. Before, but the Scots could do some runbacks.
I'm guessing Sam is going to want to put this in the top 8.
I would think so, yeah. Okay, on sheet 1, the Americans took another 3, so they're not being very gracious hosts.
Well, they're taking Sam's stone all the way in. Take it to the back of the tee now.
Yeah, prevent the double. Unfortunately, that gives them the Scots something to at least draw down to and cut them down.
It's tight, but they might actually even have the possibility of getting a shot off of that back one.
Yeah, if they got the hit in the flop.
Yeah, just a little bit of a flop towards center.
Uh-oh, the Americans hogged a rock on sheet 2.
Oh, was that Greg?
I'm not sure who it was.
That's Greg the Iceman, by the way.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Come on, he should know the ice.
Exactly.
My gosh.
If anybody out there wants to see an interesting little piece of video, there's 2 or 3 years ago, we actually did a full time lapse from the first wetting of the ice down to the final. It's about 10 minutes long. And it's actually pretty interesting to watch, especially where Greg clips the brine pipe with the scraper.
Ooh, a bit of a mess.
You know that when brine hits the ice, paint won't stick there anymore? We know that.
Hard lesson learned.
Yeah. I was, he kind of lived with it, but it was one of those things that was more comical than anything else. It was to see everybody kind of standing around it going, okay, now what do we do? As the puddle just was expanding.
David, I believe, haven't you guys been fining your gentlemen if they hog a rock?
It's $5 a time, unless you're the lead. They're given exemption on the basis that, well, I can't really think why they've been given an exemption, but they have.
Probably because their guards are closer to the hog line in the first place, so they have less room for error.
More likely to be the fact that the judge is also a lead, I think.
Now that's a politics we can get used to these days.
Judges are never biased.
Nah.
Here in lane 3, Callum Harvey's sending down his. I think he's just wanting to sit in that yellow that's at the back.
It's good. It's curling. Is he we're working it hard.
It's still moving. It's looking good.
Oh, beautiful shot.
Oh, look at that.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
Absolute beautiful.
Wow.
Now that does give Sam room to come and sit on Callum's rock. They worked it hard and they got it. It's sitting just behind the tee line.
Just slightly visible too.
Sam should be able to draw down to that, but it's going to be very weight sensitive.
Well, he might be looking at it and wondering if, I don't know if can't see from here, if he can squirt out that red, if he gets rid of it, and he could get a good few.
I think he can get it. There is a way to get rid of it. It's tight, very tight, and if he does, I think he could sit as much as 5.
Yeah, this is
So I believe the front of the 12-foot is yellow is shot over the red on the at the 10 o'clock.
Okay. They're working it. I think Sam might have been narrow.
Oh, it's looking.
No, they're working it again.
Looking good.
He's got it.
Look at that.
Oh. And the Americans take 1, 2, 3.
3, yeah. Wow.
Very good, Sam. That ties it up after 3 on sheet 3. Great shot. They worked it hard.
I don't think Callum could have done anything better.
No.
Maybe got a centimetre closer.
No.
Sometimes the game is not about doing it better. It's about doing it as good as you can because there's no other choice.
No, Callum had it. I mean, he tucked it, but it was just enough open.
Yeah, but if there's any less open, it might not have been shot.
Right. And a field goal was just scored here on sheet 2.
Oh, wow. Right through the uprights.
Right through a very narrow port.
They're just getting ready for the Super Bowl. Go Pats.
It's funny, when we were over in Scotland, of course the Super Bowl was on at the same time, so we were having to explain the game to many of our compatriots over there.
It's just like rugby, but different.
We saw a lot of rugby fields when we were over there, but I actually did see an American football field while we were over there. Saw one. Another working hard here on sheet 2, but can't quite get it tucked.
Oh, good shot.
So after 3 ends, the Americans are up 15-6. A little different than yesterday at Cape Cod, where the Scots gave the Americans quite a drubbing.
Stone coming down in sheet 4 from Albert Midler, better known to curlers across the world as a referee, umpire. He's been all over the world. Comes from sunny Aberdeen. Well, at least it's sunny once a year. In sheet 2, our man with the trousers just played a very good shot, coming sitting on the red Scot stone, so opportunity to get rid of that out the back later. I'm guessing Ian Young will be now worked. Does he want a guard? Is he going to take a 1, or can he see a way of getting some extras?
Ramsey from Scotland just delivered. Looks like he's going to come down and sit right on that yellow rod on sheet 2. Building up the Christmas tree right on the 4-foot.
Strangely enough, I don't know why, no reason in particular, but the heads are all less populated now than they were in the first 2 or 3 ends. Here, sheet 1, the skipper's trying to, I'm guessing, going to try and get rid of that red and leave. Oh, he's done a good job, although he's spun out himself.
Well, sheet 3, Sam Williams sitting 3, but the Scots should be able to draw it down to sit right on the shot rock.
And sheet 2, they're going to attack the reds.
They're working it hard. Very nice. Very nice. Came across the face, popped it. It might be a little heavy here on sheet 3. Well, over on sheet 1, they're just kind of exchanging rocks back and forth. So right now it's one Scottish rock, but Americans are planning to take that out. So. Again, you're generally not going to see either side blank the end because since points are so important in this competition.
Looks a bit wide. He's going to nick it. Well, hard to believe he missed it.
Flashes. So the Scots have an open draw to anywhere in the rings on sheet 1 for 2.
So Clive will be hoping to leave one in. He's got the whole rink to play with. Clive Thompson, rink 1. RCCC captain, president rather.
This is where the sweepers, their job is very, very important. It's up to them to determine whether it needs anything or not. I don't think they're going to have to touch it. That's looking a little heavy to me.
I think you might well be.
I think maybe it's going to. It's going to settle. Oh no! No, Clive
he'll be kicking himself.
Yeah, Clive was a little heavy. That's why your sweepers are so important. Throw it to the sweepers. Let those sweepers do their job.
Well, it's so often the case. You're playing strike, and then somebody asks you just to put it on the button, and it's sometimes hard to adjust.
Exactly. And to me, that's one of the harder shots. You've just thrown a takeout, and then the next shot, they want you to throw the draw.
So we've got
something irregular
stretcher.
Something irregular seems to be happening on rink 1. The brooms have been abandoned.
Yeah, it might be just stacking.
A whiff of whiskey in the air. Oh, look at that. Great shot.
Oh, beautiful shot on sheet 2.
So Ian Young has the last stone here in rink 2. USA are lying 3, so is he going to try and take it out, or will he settle giving a 1 away by just drawing up to it? I think that's probably what he's going to do. There's always a chance they could sweep it past to line the button, but he'll be happy just to be in its vicinity, I think.
Yeah, I think if he tries to take it out, he would probably roll out. So yeah, I agree with you, David. Just come down, maybe just give up the 1 versus 3 is sometimes you have to cut your losses. Okay, it's coming down, but it's still hanging out there. Might be a little heavy here. No, here it comes. Here it comes. Very nice shot. Okay, well, he cut the Americans down to 1.
You're about to see in rink 2 in a moment or two. This is them reaching the end of 4th end, and they will try and stack their brooms. Unlike the particularly untidy outfit on rink 1, they're going to try and have their brooms all stacked vertically, then disappear for a very small nip.
And they did it. We're all staying. The brooms are staying in one place. So after 4 ends on sheet 1, the Americans are up 7-1. On sheet 2, the Americans are up 4-2. Sheet 3, we still have 3 rocks to play. And on sheet 4, very nice tap back, and it looks like the Scots took 2. Oops, I didn't realize, sorry, I missed the rock. I didn't see the yellow rock sitting over there. Okay, so the Americans,
they have the hammer, last stone.
Should be able to draw right down to that and take 1.
I think he's coming down with a bit of weight.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. He might be trying to chip those. Take 2. Oh, that's looking a little wide to me. No, it came a little wide. Just moved the Scottish rock over, so Scots take 2 on sheet 4. Again, sometimes better to just take that 1.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to throw and get both of the Scottish rocks out, and then you give them 2. So just take your 1. Almost had a nice run back there on sheet 3 by Callum. Skinning by.
Sheet 3, the USA are lying 2, and I suspect they're just going to try and shut the door a bit. Callum will have the last stone, so if they can make it difficult for him to get in the front, it'll be hard for him to score. So plan, I'm guessing, is that Sam will want to leave one top 12. That gives them, that secures probably 2.
Although they've, Callan would have that tap back on the American Stone onto his own. Okay, they're attempting to stack the brooms over here on sheet 4. Oh, Alex is cheating. He's using a rubber band to hold them in place.
I think that's his hairband.
What hair?
Sam's about to send his shot down. It's hard to be sure whether he's leaving it top 12 or whether he wants to draw in and hide. I'm probably going to make their mind up halfway down the ice.
Looks to me like they're just playing the guard. Well, they're sweeping it hard now. I guess maybe they figure they can get Tuckett. No, it's a beautiful shot, actually. Okay, so that leaves the tap up. So Callan would have to tap it up a little. If he tapped it 2 feet, he'd be shot.
Rink 3, they're having a committee meeting of some sort. 4 heads arguing about the most obvious shot.
Yeah, and there's really only one shot, and that's a tap-up. There's no way they can...
I don't see anything else either.
No. The best they can do is take one.
I think maybe I'll approach the judge later and see whether we can introduce a fine for having committee meetings on the ice. I don't know if you can hear the background noise, but I'm guessing the whiskies they're having at end of 4 were slightly larger than I would have expected.
Looks like a line of ice for a tap back.
It does, you know. Yeah.
Are they trying to draw?
Well,
no.
Danger of knocking yet another yellow in here. That's the way it looks at the moment.
It's not coming over enough. I think it's going to hang a little wide. No, it maybe a little light and it was a little wide. So it looks like the Americans took 3 on sheet 3. So let's see, after 4 ends. Well, the Americans they didn't post a couple scores, so I can't really tell after 4. But the Americans are well up after 4. But there's still plenty of curling.
It's Clark Perry assisting on the stacking the brooms on rink 3. I only discovered last night that Clark used to be part of the British ski team. I'm sure he won't mind me saying it, but even if he does, inside the cuddly Clark we have today, there's an athlete.
David, I think sheet 1 maybe should be fine for being so sloppy. You know, when you look at how neat sheets 2, 3, and 4 are with their brooms.
You know, I think there's a very good case for that, but of course the trump card they have is that's the sheet the judges are on. But he has found himself before now, and believe it or not, in just over 3 weeks I think we've raised for ourselves something over $1,000 in fines.
Now people might wonder what that money goes for. And needless to say, there's some liquid refreshments that have to be purchased occasionally. Any monies that are left over then would go toward the group getting together, hopefully at some point in time. After we were there in 2012, 8 of the Scots came back to the United States. I believe it was the next year, and actually played in a bonspiel at Exmoor. So just like we had money left over from our tour, and it was used like when we were at the opening banquet and things like that.
Well, every morning on the bus we have what's known as morning class, which is a drink essentially. Fresh lemons, squeezed, bit of lemonade, glucose tablet, ice cubes. I think that's about all, other than the gin that's added to it. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's just what you need, believe me.
You know, David, you were talking about maybe the judge, she would not be fined because of the judge, but I believe, and I'm not sure I'm saying the word right, is it cliping?
Cliping?
Yes.
Yes, that's it, cliping. We have another word for it which I don't think I should use on air.
Cliping is essentially you're squealing on your brother curler. Sometimes, believe it or not, people will clipe on themselves. Bob Chandler in the 2012 tour forgot to take his suitor bag, so he got through the whole tour until the end when he cliped on himself and admitted that he had forgotten his suitor bag. How he managed without the suitor bag, I don't know, but he did the whole 3.5 weeks. It was quite an amazing performance on his part, but he owned up to it at the end.
I think the most popular fine is probably turning up in the wrong attire. We've got 2 different jumpers, a maroon one, a blue one, so if you get that wrong, it's a fine. We have 2 different pairs of trousers, get that wrong, or pants as you call it, get that wrong, another fine. If you're not wearing black socks, another fine. And somebody accidentally removed a coat hanger from a hotel. I'm not going to identify him other than say he's the oldest member of the tour. So he was heavily fined for larceny, grand theft last night.
On our tour, there was a prize at the end of the tour. It was a wooden curling stone, and whoever had the most fines won it. And we actually had gentlemen competing to be fined because they wanted that stone. On the other hand, we had to come up with some very inventive ways to find some individuals because they were on their best behavior. Like one of the gentlemen, we fined him for getting on the bus with the wrong foot. I think he got on with his left foot instead of his right foot. We couldn't find anything to fine him for. I think somebody else got fined something about some shoelaces. But then there were others that, they were always late for wherever we were supposed to be. If you're the last one on the bus, you get fined for that. It's just any number of things. And one of the things that all the tours do is you count off. The courier will have the curlers count off, and it's 1 through 20 alphabetically. That way we make sure that we haven't left anybody behind, because as one of our tourists said when we were over there, it's like herding a bunch of cats. everybody just seems to be going every which way. And of course, everybody, especially when we're at a club and you're sitting around having drinks, and Bob or Russ said, well, it's time to go. Well, of course, then somebody grabs you, wants to talk to you for a minute, and then all of a sudden you're the last one on the bus, and through no fault of your own, you get hit with a fine. But the noise in the background has increased. The level has greatly increased, so it sounds to me like they're enjoying their...
I think this must be going down as the longest break we've ever had. So, and I'm slightly concerned that I'm not involved in it.
I think we're going to take a couple-minute break here from any announcing. There's nothing going on the ice, but we will be back. Get those off my ears.
Oh, ouch.
Mess up what hair I have.
Yeah, it is. Wow, I'm surprised.
And as you can see, teams are coming back out on the ice as we start the fifth end of the Scots Tour 2017. This is the second last stop on the entire tour in Broomstones, Wayland, Massachusetts. This afternoon they will be playing at the Country Club in Brookline, and after that they'll be playing in Scotland. So coming to a town near you.
We'll see if the break has improved their...
Oh, you got the Brooms.
Yeah.
You're calling their shots on 1 and 2.
You never know. Okay, so the first American rock is away on sheet 2. Call for center guard.
I would have slowed with everybody getting off the ice. Just go straight. They start sweeping.
A little later, Paul, we will hopefully be able to get Shelley Dropkin to come up and speak with us a bit. Shelley is in charge of the 50th anniversary of Broomstones, which is 2017. And she'll just let people know a bit about what will be going on for that, for the celebrations over the next half a season now and half a season next year.
And then I believe it's also the 150th anniversary of the GNCC.
I think so.
Yeah, quite amazing.
We have less control over what they do for their...
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm from the Detroit Club, and we were established in 1885, so we're not one of the oldest clubs in the United States, but believe it or not, back in 1832, they curled out on Orchard Lake, which is in Oakland County, Michigan, north of Detroit. And that's the first known curling in the United States.
I actually was reading that last week in Wikipedia.
Yeah, Judge Smith, who was an historian in Scotland, he's passed away a year or two ago, but he gave a talk when we were over there in Scotland. He was a big burly guy, big bushy beard. And he talked about that while we were over there, and I got to go up after and talk to him and say, well, I live just a little bit north of where that occurred, and I've been out on that lake. So even though curling started there in Michigan, the club itself did not become established till 1885, so we're one of the oldest, but not the oldest in the United States. I think Milwaukee was 1845. Of course, Canada, they start curling even before us.
Yeah, I've actually played it. I think it was the second and the third oldest club as a member of the clubs in Canada. The Quebec Curling Club was established a couple of years after the Montreal Curling Club, which became the Royal Montreal Curling Club later. The Quebec Curling Club is now, I believe, condominiums, sadly. And the Thistle Curling Club, which is was three, 4 blocks away from the Montreal Curling Club, and that's the 7-Eleven. Montreal really put people. They killed the curling clubs really easily. What they did was they put an entertainment tax on it. So suddenly your memberships went up by 15%, and the club didn't benefit from it.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Sometimes the governmental agencies have ended up killing a curling club. When we were in West Bloomfield, we were on 5 acres when the condos and apartments were moving in around us, and of course our property taxes went up, and we just couldn't afford to stay there. The club wasn't any more valuable to us, but of course the township said, well, the land is, so so when we built our new club, we built it and we gave it to the city of Ferndale, and we leased it back for $1 a year, a 99-year lease. We don't pay any property taxes because it's owned by the city.
What we're seeing also is that clubs coming up in industrial sectors where you can get a large warehousing facility, and I'll tell you, it's not a bad deal.
That's what Columbus, Ohio did, and they have actually developed in a nice little 3-sheeter. Nothing fancy, but it's more than adequate. I've officiated a number of events down there, and to see that building before it became a curling club, they showed us around, and what they've done with it is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and if you think of it, it's not all that complex to do. You bring in the compressors, you just have to wall off an area.
Yeah.
And the neat part about it is you've got a large parking area that comes with every warehouse.
Yep.
And you're not using it at the same time as the warehouse is usually using it.
And they're, now with the mats, you can just, instead of, having to put the pipes in the floor, clubs are they get these mats now that they can lay right on the concrete floor.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're mobile. If the lease doesn't get renewed next year, they're somewhere else, and they pull everything with them.
Yeah. Landlords would rather have something in there than nothing. So.
Yeah. But you look at the price per square foot for warehousing compared to, it's And the neat part about it is you don't have to go that far out of the city core to find that type area.
Now, Bowling Green, Ohio, they were tied in with the college there for many, many years, and the college unfortunately was, making it harder and harder for them. So they found used to be a furniture store had closed.
Yeah.
And they purchased the building. It's about 5 miles north of Bowling Green now, and they're working right now on getting that building ready for. They're hoping to get some curling in this season. Whether it's going to occur or not, they were supposed to have a Mondspiel this weekend, and they had to cancel due to compressor problems. But doesn't have to be a brand new building.
No, not at all. Look at all the going out of business sales that happened to was it Circuit City, and the Ames stores.
Oh, there's some places out there. I mean, you could put in 10, 12 sheets if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It would be really too big, but
you put a hockey rink next to it. So when the hockey players get injured, they come and play curling and injure themselves more.
There you go.
Find out what muscles really are.
Well, up in Traverse City, they started a curling club up there in the arena where the Detroit Red Wings have their preseason practices. And there's 2 sheets of ice there, and now it's become so successful, they're talking about adding a curling building onto the side of the building. They'd use the same compressors, but...
Yeah. A lot of cases, curling is not as popular just because of the lack of availability.
Right.
And you might say any particular area has its saturation point of anything, and curling might be a lot less of a lot lower a saturation point than a lot of things. But nonetheless, if you don't have one, of course nobody's going to be interested. If it's there, then suddenly you generate your interest.
Well, there's 2 things that are needed. One, obviously, is the ice, and 2 are the rocks. So it's really incumbent upon the organizing people to find the place for the ice. But the rocks, like the GNCC has a rock rental program where you want to start curling, they will rent you rocks for, I don't know the exact cost, but it's not astronomical, and because rocks are not cheap. But if you want to get a group of people together, you need to find some place.
I got to wonder also how many of the older clubs that are gone or whatever, the rocks, not all of them got recuperated.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's a lot of old curling rocks that are now doorstops, which is really unfortunate.
But then again, the shapes have changed a lot over time. I remember when I started, they were a lot flatter, and they were a lot wider, and they had that little rim, and they had the that's when, instead of having 1 through 8 written on them, they had punch holes.
Yeah. The rocks today, when we were in Scotland, we went to Kay's. They make the majority of the curling stones in the world, and they get the granite from Elsa Craig, which is a granite monolith out in the sea.
Have they not closed that now?
Right now, when we were over there in 12, they had enough granite to last 20 years. It's a bird sanctuary, but they can go in every so often to mine more granite, but they won't need to for a number of years.
So here's the deal, curlers, stop doing those great big backlift takeouts that tend to end up counting the biggest piece of rock that's left.
Right, don't need to do that anymore.
Darn, they were fun.
But most of the rocks today have inserts. The granite on the insert is a different type of granite than the hitting surface, and blue hone is what's used for the running surface. It's not good for the hitting because it does have a tendency to chip. And once a rock starts to chip, then you get moisture in there, and the rock starts to get bigger and bigger chips. Pretty soon, you've just got to get rid of that rock. But
it seems to me that with science the way it is, we should be able to find a way to mimic a curling stone out of something else, where we'll get the same basic principles.
Well, I actually got, when I was president of the Great Lakes Curling Association, I received a email from a guy in China. They were going to try and make curling stones, and I didn't respond back, and nothing's ever come of it. But there's a company in London, Ontario, the London Curling Stone Company, and that's where the Detroit Curling Club got their rocks from. And they're very good rocks. But 98% of the rocks today, according to K's, now have inserts. Because you can always replace the insert.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Because you use the different types of granite. You use the best granite for the running surface, and then the best granite for the hitting surface. And
then just to add to it, that way, you're not scared about sharpening your stones a little bit more often.
Right.
Because there's nothing worse than every season you got to come in and map the entire sheet.
Yeah. If people don't know, the running surface of the rock is very, very narrow. And as that running surface starts to flatten, the rock will not curl as much.
Or go as far.
Exactly. Ideally, you want to be a rock to curl 3 to 4 feet. That's the ideal. But if you've sharpened your rocks, you will sometimes get 6-7 feet of curl.
We were getting 8 at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that happened in Exmoor.
For about 3 weeks.
That happened in Exmoor when the Scots came in. They had just redone their rocks, and on sheet 1, they would put the broom on the 12-foot, and it was going to the other 12-foot.
That's
almost
7
like
feet
a
Arena
curl.
League.
Yeah,
we're doing negative ice to be able to get them somewhere.
Yeah,
I remember playing Arena League and being on the outside of the boards with the broom just to get it to somewhere between the 8 and the 12 foot of the other side of the sheet.
Generally, after about 3 or 4 weeks, that'll settle down as that real sharp edge starts to flatten out just a little bit. You shouldn't have to sharpen your rocks every year.
We don't either. But
I would say, what do you think about every 3 or 4 years, maybe? 5?
Good question. My experience has only been in the last few years of seeing the sharpening happening.
But you don't want to sharpen them too often. And then, if you've taken care of your rocks, you can always flip them over and use the other running surface. In Detroit, when we bought our new rock, we got double-sided inserts so that we can, get used for a number of years. I think they figure about 10 years before you flip the rocks.
So is there a pad in there to keep it from just grating against the surface of the inside surface of the stone also? Or?
Well, it's held in place by epoxy. Okay. They just set it in a bed of epoxy. The only problem that I discovered with our stones,
getting it out.
Well, no, is the little tiny. There's a little tiny space on some of the rocks. So I called over there, and they said, well, what happens is when they set it in the epoxy, the air bubble was created. He said it's nothing to worry about. I was worried about if you get moisture in there, does that create a problem of freeze thaw? He said no. He said
the epoxy probably blocks that.
Yeah. But the inserts they're not even an inch high. They're maybe a ½ inch high. They look a bit like for lack of a better phrase, like a pancake.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's kind of like about a 7-inch wide Lazy Susan board or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a tray almost.
Right.
God, I'm dating myself with the word Lazy Susan. So getting back to the games in play, what's happening out there, guys?
8, 9. Well, the Americans are up quite a bit, but I don't know what happened. They just finished on sheet 2, so we'll see who scored. I wasn't watching that sheet.
I think it looked like 2 or 3 shots for Young.
Oh, they tied. Looks like they tied it.
It's picked up a couple of shots, so that's going to be 4 shots each.
So they're tied on sheet 2. Good close game. Sheet 1, the Americans seem to have the game in hand, but again, there's still a bit of curling to go. Sheet 4, we've got a good close game. The Scots are up by 1, and they're sitting 1, but the Americans are trying to draw into it. It's just behind the tee line, so at the right weight, they should be able to come down and sit on it.
I think sheet 4, the shot here is to draw around and probably sit in that red stone that's sitting at the back.
Okay, they're working it hard.
So that's what they're signaling.
They're working it hard. No, they tapped, looks like they tapped a red one in for...
The danger of trying this shot and missing it is you then block your way in for the next time. So as you see it coming down, it's going to, looks as though it's going to come and hit the guard, the red guard. So there'll no doubt be another discussion about how the Scots can put a stone in without, what the one thing they don't want to do is tap in a yellow. On the other hand, they might see that as the obvious shot for the USA, so they'll perhaps just take what they're lying. I can't be sure whether it's 1 or 2, but they'll perhaps just try and secure that by putting in a long guard.
They have got that broom right on the sideline of sheet 4. They possibly could draw in, but again, like David said, the problem is if you're narrow, there's a possibility of popping the yellow one in for at least second. So I believe the Scots are sitting, I think they're sitting 2. Oh, they're working it hard. Looks like he might have been light. They're working it hard. All 3 sweepers are working the rock.
Oh dear.
Oh my gosh.
Another $5 shot coming up, I think.
And that was the skip that threw that rock. As they say, the skip should always have that weight in his back pocket.
Helps if he takes it out too.
So the obvious shot now for the USA is to tap in their yellow that's sitting at the top 12. And it's the sort of shot you would be happy to do any day of the week. But when you're playing against another country and the world's watching you, things go wrong.
But there's never any pressure.
Well, that's what skips are paid the big bucks for.
What sports do you hear?
I gotta go work for you guys instead then, because they don't pay them that much here.
It's coming, but does he have enough weight? I don't know that he's going to have enough weight to. No.
I think he's just going to draw around.
Yeah, he went wide to the outside though.
Yeah.
And those outside sheets tend to do a little drop off.
So we'll find out here in a minute whether like I say, I believe the Scots got 2.
Just didn't quite have enough weight to get that stone in on rink 4. So that'll be a 2.
Hey, a little bit more weight on that one, and what would have happened was he'd have kicked in the other red.
Yeah, potentially.
So that means in rink 4, Alex Dixon is the only one of the 4 Scots teams with their nose out in front.
Oh, they're working hard just to get it across the hog line. And, oh boy. They're looking to see. Looks like they just got it across, but that's a long, long guard, which the Americans can easily come around.
I don't know if I'd even want to make it cross and.
No, for me, I would rather have it hog.
Yeah. Rest up, guys. You can sweep the next one.
Oh, nice hit and roll on sheet 2, guarding shot rock. The Scots are sitting 3 on sheet 2, but Americans have called. There's a double here. Does he have it? Does he have it? He's got one for sure. Okay, took one out. So Scotland is still sitting 2 on sheet 2.
Well, the skip just wants the front opened up on sheet 2. He'll want to get rid of at least one of the reds. If he leaves his own yellow there, that could be used later. So that's not a bad outcome, although there's still 2 red rocks in. I think what the Scots will probably try and do is block any opportunity for them to tap up the yellow. Easier said than done, of course. And what they need to guard against is lining it up perfectly so that a hit on their stone onto that yellow will push out, stop the red stone lying in the centre and leave the yellow.
So the American skip has called for a run back. Coming, but I don't know.
It's starting to move. Here it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful run back.
Yeah.
Beautiful run back.
So I think the Scots made a mistake there in putting their guard just too close to that front yellow stone.
But the American stone is wide open, so the Scots take it out. Maybe
not close enough.
Hitting a flop.
Wired in sideways. You look at that on review, and it's coming out, and the curl on the sheet oftentimes is just from the hog line to the top of the 12. And that looked like it was just wired in.
So Ian Young, the Scots skip on rink 2, is going to be faced with the opportunity or task of getting rid of the yellow stone. He'll want to hide if he can. In other words, get behind the guard. He'll want to come down here. The main thing he has to do is remove the yellow.
I think the Americans will be quite content to exchange takeouts back and forth. since they do have the hammer this end.
A relatively simple, straightforward shot for the American team here in rink 2. He's taken a bit less ice, so I think he's hoping he's going to manage to take the red out and hide behind the guards.
Oh, it's curling. It is curling. They've got it. They've got it. They've got it. Well, whether he'll get the roll or not. Well, it rolled, but rolled into the open.
Well, there's a long red guard out there, so it's it's a bit tight. Even if it's not, the guard is not directly in line, it's always a bit of a distraction. And somehow or other, the hand tends to push the stone towards that distraction. So, great outcome, really. Ian Young's going to have to come down with a bit of weight to keep it straight.
He's got the weight. Well, they've got a... Very nice, very nice. Got a nice roll. So the Americans are going to be forced to draw for 1. Just needs to get to the full 8 foot. That looks heavy to me.
Well, the sweepers are certainly not interested in helping it. Slowing a bit now.
Even if he goes to the back of the 8 foot.
I think he's going to nail it. Well, he can't do much better than that.
No. When you've got the whole rings to play with, remember, you can always go to the back of the 8 foot too. It doesn't have to be the front. Very good shot. Sheet 3, the Scots are sitting 2. Sam's asking for a takeout on the front rock. The angles are, you could get a double here. He called them on immediately, which didn't quite get the double, but the Scots will be willing to exchange rocks back and forth. And based on that, then they should take 2 in the 6th here on sheet 3. Is Gary summing in for somebody?
Yes, Gary's he's stepped in. One of our teammates he's got a bit of a groin strain. He's played through it, but I think he feels he's not going to be able to curl when he gets back home unless he gives it a bit of a rest. So I think in rinks 2 and 4, the matches are close enough. Rinks 1 and 3, the Americans are beginning to put a bit of daylight between them and the Scots teams.
Well, sheet 3, Scots came down, they got the takeout, but unfortunately they rolled out. So I think Sam is just going to be content to take them out.
So unless Sam misses one of his 2 shots, most of the Scots are going to get it, and sheet 3 is a 1.
Sheet 4, it looks like the Americans are going to try and draw one in. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Looks like they're trying to come through an opening and maybe tap that Scottish stone back. Way to go, Paul.
On sheet 2, you see the Scots. I think they're just going to keep trying to keep putting red stones in. They may have an opportunity to knock what looks like a lying yellow out, unless it's guarded shortly. So Gary Rutherford's just put another red in, but I suspect it's going to get chipped out fairly quickly.
Looks like Paul put his beer on me.
I have no idea how I did it.
The reason I put the table there was because that little shelf is angled towards the carpet.
I discovered that, yeah.
Sorry, Paul.
The hard way.
And sorry, folks,
It'll smell like a brewery up here for a while.
I was amiss in my duties of changing the sheet ends as I went out to take pictures, the one-man band.
Oh, and I didn't realize you weren't there. So.
That's okay.
Well, it's about the best I can do. Unfortunately, it's going to smell like a brewery up here for a while. It's curly club. Jeez.
So we're having a look on sheet 2. So what does the American scoop want to do? I suspect what he's going to do is take a shot. He's going to shut the door as best he can.
I think he's going to. I wonder.
He's calling for a guard.
I almost want to hit that red one and see if we can just remove the 2 red from the middle. But I'm a hot dogger.
So the sweepers are working it very hard. It looks to me as though it's drifting over. It's not really going to change very much.
No. Well,
leaves the Yellowstone a bit vulnerable if the Scots can get that exposed red, get a bit of a tap onto the yellow. That might have been the better stone to guard.
Yeah, right now there's a kind of like double off your own. It's not easy, but it's there.
Well, they've got to go for it or give up the end. I was looking for a stone down at back weight. Just enough to push the red onto the yellow and the yellow out and stay. Could be the ice is a bit tight though. Well, the sweepers are working very, very hard, so I think they can see it just drifting over a bit. A lane to the USA, they're lying. It's still possible to get it, but we'll see what the American. It looks to me as they're going to try and put an. Or they're either going to they're going to take that outlying red away in case Scotland choose to come in off it. You know, it doesn't matter what colour it is, you can still come in off. Although that's a nice shot, he's drifted over. And Scotland are going to go back to seeing if they can tap this red onto the back yellow. That would make them lie short. So they need back weight again.
This would be a beautiful shot on here on sheet 2 if we can get this angle raised.
Well, he's coming out steady as a rock, Big Jim Ramsey.
I think we might have waited just a hair too long.
Yeah. They've left the sweeping too long, I think.
Yeah, they're going to nose it.
Chip his own stone out. No, he's got a touch, but I don't think it's changed the state of the affairs.
If they'd have gotten on it maybe a little sooner, they might have gotten it.
Okay, there's an opportunity for. Well, I think the Americans are going to probably just put up a guard. Otherwise, if they leave that left-hand yellow exposed, there's an opportunity for the Scots to get both of them out, and then they'd be lying 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think it's a case of take one and go home 2 up.
Well, this is the 7th end, so time's running out.
After 6 ends, the Americans are up by 9 points.
That sounds like the Scots are catching up, right? I'm trying to remember what it was earlier.
Right before the start of this game, the Americans were up by 92 points.
Oh yeah, no, I don't expect them to catch that far up.
Yeah. So
just within this...
when the Americans are up by 9, but again we have to wait for the end of the game to see.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking back like in 4 or 5. It seems to me there was less of a gap, or more of a gap.
Well, again, the biggest gap was 140 some points. And that was the biggest gap. And if you look on the website, well, if anybody wants to go onto the website, it's rccc2017tour.com. It tells all about the players, the clubs they're from, the blog, the results at each club that they've played at, and then the running total. And you can see that the Scots have been making a comeback over the last few days. They've gotten it to less than 100 points, which is the first it's been that low in a number of days. What both countries are playing for, it's called the Harry's Maxwell Trophy. It's a trophy that...
well, Ian Young is
what happened on Tuesday?
About to change the shape of that.
Oh, he did.
Looks to me like Scotland's sitting 3 now?
I think Scotland are certainly lying.
But the trophy goes to the country, who scores the most points, and then that country retains it for the next 5 years. The trophy travels with the tour, so the trophy's been traveling from club to club with the Scots. The courier, takes care of that. One of the many jobs that they have. And then they'll engrave which country won it that particular year. Starting in 1952 is when the modern tour started, and the first 6 exchanges were won by the Scots, the next 5 by the Americans, and it's kind of been back and forth since then.
I think overall the Scots are 1 up, and it looks as though that's going to be redressed.
Right,
today
should be a tie, correct, after this one.
So it's going to be, yep.
And that proves that any given any given game can go either way.
Well, Mark Swanby had looked up the points, and it was surprising. I forget how many points total has been scored since this started, and they were within 200 or 300 points of each other, over 10,000 some points.
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing how close it's been back and forth.
Yeah, we also play Gordon's, which is Canada-US, and it goes something like that, but the points are nowhere near as close.
Right. No, I was very, very surprised when Mark gave those figures. I couldn't believe how close it was for something that's been going on as long as this has. At the Detroit Club, we actually have a plaque from the 1902-1903 season. The Scots were over to Detroit, and they've been to Detroit, I think, more than any other club in the United States.
Right. Yep.
And it was just amazing. We had another plaque that the Scots all signed along the edge of it. It was a map of Scotland, and they signed the edge of it. It was in the 1938 tour, July 22nd and 23rd, 1938, and then there were pictures of them at their dinner that night at one of the major hotels in the city of Detroit at the time.
Well, Ian Young's just played a very good shot there, aided by some pretty robust sweeping, it has to be said, but that's what they're there for.
So it looks like they got, what do you think, 3 anyway? I'm thinking 3.
Maybe 3.
So here we are.
I'm thinking
Bill's
2.
about to start the last end here, 8th end. They've posted a 2 for that last end.
Yeah, it kind of looked. It was close, but that's about what it was.
So that puts the Scots 1 up. However, the Americans have the hammer, and you would certainly expect to take 1 with a hammer.
But it's that age-old question. Do you want to be down by 1 with the hammer coming home, or up 1 without the hammer coming home? And
you want to be up 3 with the hammer.
Best. I think the statistics have shown, though, if you're down 1 with the hammer, the majority of times you should win the game.
Yeah, it was we were running statistics a few times when we did some of the commentating in the past, and someone came up with a statistic that whoever scores the first point in the game is 70% likely to win the whole thing.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, which means that we're playing 7 ends for nothing.
Yeah.
I like to think of it as a best of 8 series.
No, the American lead in rank 2 has just put us through, so it gives the Scots an opportunity to split the front. They'll probably put another stone on the right hand side as the curler looks at it.
This one looks.
It's coming quick. Well, it's coming quickly, but they're starting to.
Yeah. Okay, it's starting to die now. It might be behind the tee line. Okay.
So I'm guessing the Americans are going to try and. Yeah, he wants a strike.
Yeah, he just needed a little more weight on his last one. It's giving him a little more room there too, I believe. On sheet 1, the Americans took 4 in the 7th end.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh, that was well judged by the skip.
Nice hit and flop.
Yeah. So he's really neutralised 2 red stones with 1.
But you got Gary throwing, and he can throw the weight that's needed. Looked like he might have been a touch narrow.
Yeah. You'll not be delighted with that.
Yeah. So it cleared 3 stones out. There's 1 red sitting in the back 12 on the right. Americans are going to come down near it.
Seems to be coming with plenty of weight. I think there's every chance he's just going to tip the red one out.
He may go by it. No, he takes just enough, but it's wide open for the Scots to take out. It looks like Sam is throwing a takeout on sheet 3.
It's a better stone by Gary that time. He's got rid of the yellow stone and left his own in at the opposite side of the rink, so the more red stones they can leave in, the less chance there is of the USA getting more than a 1.
Okay, it looks like Sam just blanked the. Oh no.
Yeah, he has blanked something.
Yeah, I think he wanted to hit and stay. I think that's the first blank end that I've seen. Working it hard here on sheet 2 to get it to the rings. Easy, guys, easy.
No, that looks like a good shot.
Yep. Right on just behind the tee line. Okay.
So Ian Young's just going to keep taking these out. What the risk for him here is that the yellow goes back onto the red and stays, but here comes Jim Ramsey with a bit of weight. Skip signalling no sweeping, so it looks as though it's out a bit.
I think he's going to get it, but I don't know that he's going to stick around. Oh, he did.
There we are.
Boy, it came just enough. Nice shot.
Okay, so the USA are now facing 3 reds in. And Ian Young will be happy just to trade shots. This goes on until somebody makes a mistake.
And we have another conference call over here on sheet 4. Scots are trying to figure out how they can get to that. The rock is sitting in the back of the 4-foot. Oh, very nice shot by the Americans. Bumped it, the Scottish rock back just a hair.
Jim Ramsey playing his last stone. He wants to he'll be happy for himself to spin out as long as the yellow goes the other way and leaves the field of play.
Here it comes.
They leave no sweeping, so I'm guessing
he's got it. He's got it. Rolled out, but not bad.
So, same tactic. This time I'll just try. If he can nestle against the red, that would suit him fine.
Beautiful shot over on sheet 4 that came through the open port and took the American rock out. I think Scotland might have scored 2 or 3 on sheet 4.
The second American stone is the wrong side.
Yeah, Scotland got 3 on sheet 4.
So Ian Young, Scottish skip playing is about to play his first stone. He's going to want to leave this top 12. If they're lying 1, the further away it is from the lying stone, the better, I think.
Okay, now the Americans did something very strange on sheet 4. They threw the rock through, so I don't think they quite understand that this is points. And normally you don't throw through in a points game.
It's like the board. He's been assimilated.
Ian Young looks, is he going to get a bite? Having to work very hard. No, he's left it short. That's a bit disappointing for him. He'll not be happy with himself. So essentially he's created a nice guard. American skip's got a couple of options. You can just draw around, hide behind it. 8 foot and inwards is good.
Yeah, that was my mistake. It was actually the Scottish team that threw the first rock through on sheet 4, and I'm surprised.
Here comes the US stone. He's managed to put 2 or 3 of them on the button before. This one might just catch the guard, or is he past? He's caught it, so he will also be very cross with himself about that.
We're on sheet 1. It looks like they're trying to draw for a shot. It looks like the American stone is just beating out the Scottish stone. That was nice weight. It just wouldn't finish quite enough.
So Ian's trying to come through the gap between these 2 stones. There's a bit of a risk. I'd be inclined to stay well away from the yellow stone, but it looks fine at the moment. They're hoping it's going to move. I think just going to effectively block as he got in. Yeah, so it's Belang's third. So I think the American skip's trying to work out whether he wants to go for a 2 here. Is he trying to see if there's a way he can get yellow onto red to get rid of the red and stay.
Right now on sheet 3, Scots are sitting 3. Sam's asking for a hit. They might get the hit in the flop over here. It looks like maybe they were narrow. Oh, well, got one of them.
Still got a result. Okay, here we are back in sheet 2, the last stone of this particular match. And I think he's coming down at back weight. If he can miss his own yellow and nick, just touch the red, he gets a 2 and wins the match. it's looking good. Well, he's got himself his one.
Very nice. Nice hit and flap. So we end up with a tie game here on sheet 2. Well, they think Clive must have been narrow because they were calling the sweepers on immediately. Whoa! Who just took a spill? Yeah. The judge just took a spill, but I think he's okay. He rolled.
Well, you know, we've gone to hang a tie in our weekday league, say we play back-to-back draws, and then we play normally 8:30. So now we hang ties on our weekday. Every 1 week we play it, next round. And that lasts a couple of weeks where we have to have head-to-head wins in the league that we play now. It's good fun, guys.
Okay, the American Skip is throwing his last rock here on sheet 1. Presently they're sitting 3. I'll try and guard it up.
Last night, I'm sure that Steve is in cooking his heart out this morning.
Okay. Not a bad shot, which is essentially going to force this Scottish Skip to draw down to the button. He's got the backing, but he's got to draw right to the button. So we'll see if Clive is going to earn his big bucks here. On sheet 3, Sam is debating what to do. The Scots are sitting 3, and at least 2 of them are kind of spread out. Okay, Clive looks like he's got the weight. They're sweeping hard. They're sweeping hard. Is he on the guard?
Ooh,
nope.
Oh, yep.
Nope. Just nicked the guard. So the Americans will take 3 more on sheet 3. So the score on that sheet was 16-2. We had a tie on sheet 2. Sheet 3, Sam's throwing some big weight here. Oh, nice. Nice.
Sam is going to be delighted with that.
Took one out and rolled over and nudged them out. So, but unfortunately, it's wide open for the Scottish team.
Having another long discussion. Doesn't seem to be much to discuss. Callum will just want to get rid of that lying yellow stone.
But Sam does have the hammer, so we'll see. I think no, that shot by Sam, he got him out of a bit of a pickle there. Okay, Callum's getting ready to throw the takeout. Well, they're working it. They're working it hard. Was he narrow? Well, he got it, but he rules out. So Sam. They're looking to see what. I think the Americans are sitting. I'm not sure. It's tough to tell from here. There's a risk-reward shot here. If Sam goes after the one red rock and sticks, they could take 3. But if he misses, the Scots could take 1, which wouldn't be terrible. On sheet 4, they're going for a takeout. The Americans are going for the takeout. And we got the takeout, but he rolls out on sheet 4. So the Scots are sitting 2, but the Americans have the hammer, so they're going to be drawing for 1. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize there was 2 rocks left. So the Scots are drawing, try to split the house, force the Americans to 1.
Sure, what just happened on this bruised on sheet. Looks like
Not I think it may be 1 red on sheet 3, but we're not sure. And it looks to me like it's going to be 1 red, which is 1 for the Scots. Oh, no, the Americans got 1. Okay, we couldn't tell from up here. So the score on sheet 3 was 8-4 in favor of the Americans. And the last rock of this draw is going to be thrown by the Americans. He's got a draw. All he has to do is bite the 8-foot, and the Americans should take 1. Okay, he's delivered the rock. The weight looks pretty good. They're working it. Come on, guys. Okay, easy, guys. Easy. Just got to get to the 8-foot. Very nice draw. Very nice draw by the American skip to the 4-foot. And the Americans take 1. And the Scots win that sheet, score of 8-4. So with the finals, let's see, 8-4 on that sheet, 8-4 on that sheet to cancel each other out. It's a tie. So the Americans take this draw total by 14 additional points. That's all from the draw here at Broomstones. Thanks for watching. And I understand you can go back and watch us anytime. Okay.
Well, folks, I'd like to thank our commentators for today's game, Paul and David, and we hope to see you again in 10 years, and look forward to playing more international curling. So thank you very much for being with us, and we'll see you soon.